So Visa, MasterCard, and American Express are now going to track and flag all suspicious firearm and ammunition sales. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think you shouldn't be tracked for exercising your right to keep and bear arms, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, which is Established Titles. Have you ever been watching Game of Thrones and thought to yourself, man, I want to be a lord or lady? Well, with Established Titles, you can. Through Established Titles, you get 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate that's in Scotland, and you get also a printable certificate with a crest recognizing you as a lord or lady. Here's actually the certificate that they sent me. It says that Lord Anthony Miranda has my plot number here on here as well. So when you order one of their packs, you get this nice little plaque here and this nice little piece of paper that shows that you are a lord or lady and also the plot that you have in Scotland. So I guess because of this now, you guys can call me Lord Arms Scholar of Scotland if you want. So really the intention of these packs is to provide a fun novelty product for those who want to purchase something a little bit different for themselves, for their friends, or for a family member. And simultaneously in purchasing this product, you also are protecting the woodlands in Scotland. This is a great last minute gift idea, especially with the holidays coming up. It serves as a good stocking stuffer. And also if you purchase one of the couples pack, you can actually get the adjoining plots in the same location. And Established Titles told me that for the first 200 people who purchase a title using my code, you will get the plots right next to mine. So we can build this little Arm Scholar community of our plots there in Scotland. If you're interested, you can use the link down below and make sure you use the code ARMED for 10% off. So thank you again, Established Titles, for sponsoring this video. So like I said in the intro, news has been circulating around that 3 of the largest credit card companies, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, all of those are now going to create a separate categorization for all sales on firearms, ammunition, and other items as well that take place at gun shops and similar types of merchants. The claimed goal of this is to track suspicious sales, gun sales, ammunition sales as well, that they state could be an indicator of potential shootings and also gun trafficking. The way in which these companies are going to do this is by using a distinct code which will categorize gun shops and those specific sales. Visa, MasterCard, and American Express said they will adopt the International Organization for Standardization's new merchant code for gun sales, which was announced last Friday. Until Friday, gun store sales were categorized simply as general merchandise, but now through this new ISO merchant code that they're going to categorize with, all gun sales will be categorized as their own distinct code. And essentially this creates an itemization within the coding of these types of sales that says, yes, this was a sale that took place at a gun shop, at a gun store, likely the date and the amount as well. So there are some also confusion about what actually all the information will entail. I think one of the things that I've seen is that it will at least have the date, location of the sale, and also the amount as well. The adoption of this code by Visa, MasterCard, and American Express will put significant pressure on all banks that work with these companies to adopt this standard as well. For example, Visa acts as the middleman between merchants and banks, and it will be up to the bank if they decide that they want to follow this with Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, and these banks will have to decide whether or not they also want to adopt this code. So here's the big rub with this and where it's really a lose-lose for all firearms owners. Either the bank that issued your card that uses Visa, American Express, MasterCard will decide to accept that unique code along with those processors, along with Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, and categorize all those firearm sales and ammunition sales and all those purchases, or the bank will simply say that it's too much of a hassle, that they don't want to deal with all this extra coding, and simply they will just not want to track this and decide, no, we are not going to allow you to use our bank, this card, to actually process those sales, to purchase any item from a gun store or gun shop. So that's why it's kind of a lose-lose. Either they're going to adopt this coding and this categorization and flag all these so-called suspicious sales, or they're simply going to decide that they don't want to deal with this and you won't be able to use your card for these types of merchants. Now, this all comes in response to members of Congress and various attorney generals pushing for these credit card companies to track these types of sales that take place at gun stores and other merchants. Attorney General Rob Bonta and New York Attorney General Letitia James sent a letter to these companies claiming that the companies must adopt the unique codes to help prevent so-called shootings and to reduce the risk of illegal firearms sales. In this letter that they sent out, they claim that there are already requirements to flag suspicious behavior, like, for example, money laundering. So that's kind of one of the things that they're trying to say, is that you already do it for this other illegal conduct, so do it for legal conduct as far as people exercising their rights to keep and bear arms. That is the logic they're using. Rob Bonta and Letitia James are pushing for a technical change in the standard 4-digit code that credit card companies use to identify various merchants. By adding what is known as a merchant category code for gun stores, they could flag what they claim to be suspicious patterns or transactions. Now, what they will qualify as suspicious patterns is completely unknown at this time. Right now, it's claimed that maybe it would include information about the gun store, the date, and likely the amount of sale, but as far as what fully they would claim to be suspicious activity and maybe what that amount really would be, we don't know right now. However, what this could result in is simply a large dollar transaction may be flagged as so-called suspicious activity. So for example, if you went into a gun store or similar merchant and decided to buy an expensive safe, like a $6,000 safe, maybe bulk ammunition, or maybe even a single firearm that's maybe more expensive, then maybe all of a sudden under this new coding that would qualify as suspicious activity, you would be flagged, and then that purchase would be tracked. Again, the claimed goal of all this is to help reduce shootings and to stop and help target and track illegal trafficking. But there's really no outline by either the attorney generals who wrote this letter, by the Congress members who are advocating for this, or the banks and the credit card companies, or even the ISO about what this would really look like. How would this really help law enforcement in actually stopping this type of conduct? And the reality is there is no outline, no procedure, and no real impact that this will have on law enforcement. This is really all targeting towards, and the goal of this is to simply chill the right to keep and bear arms. And that's exactly what a representative for the NSSF stated. They stated that the decision chills the free exercise of constitutionally protected rights and does nothing to assist law enforcement with crime prevention or holding criminals accountable. The Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Statistics consistently shows in their own reporting that 90% of felons convicted of their crimes involving a firearm admit they illegally obtained those guns through theft or trading on the black market. He added that the supporters of the new codes actually hope to stop purchases of gun sales and ammunition through these credit cards. And that is what they are really after with this new effort. The goal is not to stop trafficking or to stop shootings. The goal is really to chill law-abiding people from purchasing items to help them exercise their right to keep and bear arms. That is really what they're after. This is one of the many new efforts that anti-gunners have come up with in a post-Bruen world. Many of you know the Supreme Court struck a major blow to anti-gunners in a recent decision, the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen decision. Since that decision, anti-gunners have been trying to come up with new approaches to restrict our rights because they can't use the traditional ways. California and New York have implemented strict marketing laws and created liability for gun manufacturers in their states, trying to circumvent the PLCAA. Then you have California implementing SB 1327, which creates a fee-shifting mechanism where two-way advocates and two-way groups who bring lawsuits against these states and the government entities who put in place these Second Amendment restrictions. Well, now under SB 1327, the state of California is trying to shift the fees and the cost to those advocates whenever they bring these lawsuits against these violations. This credit card ploy is just another backdoor attempt by the anti-gunners to restrict the free exercise of the right to keep and bear arms. This is simply an attempt to chill conduct that the anti-gunners simply don't like. They don't want you to be able to purchase firearms. They don't want you to be able to purchase ammunition. So they're going to use credit card companies to either stop those types of transactions or to track and flag you because you are exercising your rights. But it does look like Visa, MasterCard, and American Express will be implementing this new code, which will track and flag suspicious gun and ammunition sales. It will be interesting to see maybe how some of these major banks will respond to this. When this goes into place, maybe how these banks will decide to actually adopt the code, to use the code because of Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Or maybe are they going to simply not do this and maybe not like to actually use their bank to engage in this type of conduct. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, like this video and like support the channel. One of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and this type of two-way news. Again, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget that shares with built by arms scholars, and this nation will be maintained by arms scholars.